Hey guys, I just filmed like 10 minutes, did not like it at all. So now we're going back from the jump, I've had some wine tonight. I know I told you guys I would stop drinking during the week, but it's just one time. I feel like although this is fucked up and this shouldn't be how it is, I can talk deeper when I'm a little not sober. Just how it is with me. Not proud of it, but it is what it is. I have time to fix that, but don't have time to make these videos. I do have time. I meant that in like a good way. Like I want to make them so good that I don't have time to do them because I want to make sure they're so good. Today I'm going to talk about being so close but yet so far. That feeling. The You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're just exhausted from almost making it. I'm by far almost making it. I have some ventures that I'm getting into. I actually bought a funded account last week, and yesterday was my first day of trading, and I made $400 on my funded. I'm 1,000 and some change away from passing my evaluation, and I'm going to pass it. But I'm still far from where I want. But you have all these short term goals. All these short term goals that you want to hit, and by hitting all those goals, you then get closer and closer and then eventually hit your long-term goal. I was doing the photography, doing all that. I was posting for probably 2 months into this year. I posted 60, 70 times probably. And I was just so locked in, and I was getting good views. I was getting good engagement on multiple things, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts too. I haven't posted a YouTube short in a little bit. I should probably do that. But I started to I started to lose the traction that I was getting, and I didn't know why. I was posting the same thing. I kept on posting, and I was like so close to getting to my short-term goal, my nearest short-term goal for photography, and I just out of the blue one day, everything just started decreasing, and I put a lot of thought into it, and I took off like 2 weeks of posting, and that's probably the bad decision, probably the worst decision I could have made in this. Sorry, I don't know why it paused itself. I don't know why, but probably the worst decision I could have made was taking off the 2 weeks. Even though I lost a little bit of motivation for it, that motivation only gets you so far. It's the discipline that gets you beyond the motivation, and I lost the discipline. I lost the motivation for it, and I kind of didn't have the at the time I didn't have the discipline. So I took a little break, and like I said, it was the worst thing I could have done, and I regret doing that because then I started posting more, and I started to get a little more traction. So maybe if I just kept on posting, it would have just bounced it right back sooner. But to put the whole feeling into words, it's like a specific kind of pain that nobody really talks about. It's the rock bottom. It's not rock bottom. Rock bottom is actually easier in a weird way because because when you're at zero, any motivation feels towards your goal feels like progress. But this is different. This is being at 80%, being visible distance from where you want to be, and somehow that makes it worse. Because now you can see it, now you can almost taste it, you can go out and grab it, but the gap between where you are and where you need to be still feels like a canyon. And that's when motivation dies in the quietest death possible. Like I said, motivation can only get you so far. It's the discipline that gets you beyond where motivation can bring you. It's the most crucial part about anything in life is the discipline you have. I've been really disciplined on my body, and I look the best that I've ever looked, in my opinion, in my life. And I wish I used that discipline in my other aspects, my other ventures that I'm getting into. Why this happens, the psychology behind it, I guess. The progress trap. The closer you get to a goal, the more pressure you put on yourself. Early on, failure feels expected. You're going to go through it. That's just one of the trials and tribulations of getting to success. but when you're close, failure feels personal. So your brain starts to process and protect you by pulling you back before you get hurt. Before you have the ultimate failure, your brain makes you not even attempt to reach that failure, even though you should believe in your head failure is only minor setbacks to success, because that's what it is. Effort fatigue, number 2. The second point, you're already given so much to get to this point. The tank isn't empty, you're just weak. It's empty because you've been running on fumes for a long time just to get there. People only see where you are. They don't see what it costs you to get to that point. I've been out here. I've been trying to save money. I've been trying to make good money. I've been trying to do other things, and I've risked somewhat of a social life. I still go out and do things, but it's not rare for me to be home on a weekend doing homework, getting my trade stuff down, jotting down trades, back testing, doing all that, because all in my head, my just mind is fixed on 3 things in my life right now, and those are the only 3 things that are important to me, and that's the gym, my business ventures, and school. Everything else is just thrown aside in my brain. There's no time, I can't put effort into other things when I want to put all my effort into these 3 things. It's like the moving goalpost theory. Sometimes you realize the closer you get, the further the finish line moves. You hit one milestone and suddenly the standard shifts. You felt like you're almost there 6 months ago. Now it feels like you're now it feels like you're on the starting line again. And that's demoralizing in a way that's hard to explain to people who haven't felt that feeling, And then a big thing that I'm really big on nowadays, and it's very apparent on social media, it's comparison kills progress. You look around and you see people who seem to have arrived and seem to have gotten what they wanted, if not are on a great track to it. Me personally, I look around and I see my friends who already graduated college doing things that are going to progress them in the future. And then there's me at 23 who's in my junior year of college because I didn't take shit seriously and I didn't care to. And looking back, I should have, honestly. I've accepted the past as the past and I can't change the past. So all I can do is change myself in the present to then better the future for myself. But I compared myself. I found myself comparing myself and the progress that I've made in the areas that I'm at to my friends and to people that I see on social media, etc. I've one of my best friends. I love the kid out here. He's been posted on YouTube. But this is no shots, no nothing at this kid. I love this kid to death. He's one of my best friends, Lucas, and he's been posted on YouTube for almost 70 days straight, and that's just insanely respectable. And I have so much respect for his grind and his hustle, but I compare myself to that a lot. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this. I should be, but then I have to think more deeper. Is I have so many other things that I have to put before this because, for example, school. The reason why I'm in Rome is for school. I'm on a student visa. If I don't do good in school, I can't be here. So I have to make sure that I'm so up to date on all of that. And me comparing myself to my friends because they already finished school and they're graduating and they have the ability to put all their chips into one thing, which is not a bad thing at all because that's usually how that thing succeeds and how you further that journey into that aspect. But I compare myself to what I could have been if I hadn't been fucking around and been doing dumb shit for my first few years of college. The motivation part, why it dies and actually what it is. Most people think motivation is supposed to feel like fire. You wake up and you're ready, but really sustained motivation is quieter than that. It's just showing up when you don't feel like you should show up. It's when you're been showing up for months with no visible reward. Even that quiet discipline starts to crack. The truth is, motivation doesn't disappear. It hides. It hides under burnout, under disappointment, and then under the weight of how long it's been taking for you to get to those goals. It's still there, but it needs something to grab onto. To end this off, I'm going to give some points real quick. What I think is a good way to conquer this. Stop measuring distance to the finish line. Start measuring distance from where you started. You're not 20% away from the goal. You're 80% further than where you were when you first started. Let yourself grieve the timeline. It's okay to be angry, and then it's longer than you thought, but that's not weakness. That's just honesty to yourself. You're being honest with yourself. Shrink the goal temporarily, not permanently, just for now. What's one thing you can do today that's so small it feels almost pointless? Do that. Momentum does not need to be fast or big, or it just needs to exist. It needs to be there at all times, so that you're constantly working towards such goal you have. Tell someone, the almost phase is lonely because it doesn't really give a good story. There's no good story to your progress. But it's saying it out loud: I'm tired, I'm close, I don't know if I can keep going. Takes some of that power away. It takes away the power that negative thought has on you, because you're getting honesty and you're getting good advice from somebody who you know is going to give you good advice. Almost isn't failure. It's almost just a part cut out of the highest, the highlight reel. You're not gonna, if you say like you're running a 200 one of those ultra races, and you did it 1 year and you almost got it, but then you did it the year after that and you did the 200. Yes, you almost get it. You almost finished. You almost crossed the line. You almost did what you wanted to do, but you failed. But almost isn't a failure. It's just nobody is going to the video you post on YouTube isn't going to show much highlights of how you failed in the past. All it's going to show is how you triumphed from such failures and got to where you had to be. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is real, but so is every step you already took to cross it. Just for me, it's like what I've thought about in the last week or 2-3 weeks that has really helped me out with getting the motivation, discipline back was I'm so far from that low confidence, low self-esteem, just terrible on myself person that I was at the beginning of the year and going into the winter time. I would have never done any of this before then, and I'm getting emotional because I'm just I often think of myself as through the failures that I've done in life, which I've failed a lot in life, but the fact that I'm still doing it, I'm still trying, I'm still trying to conquer the fear that I have of failure and the fear that I have of talking in front of people and posting and all that. Every day I'm quietly conquering that fear, and I'm just grateful for the fact that every day I can take one extra step to get to where I want to be. You didn't come this far. You didn't come this far to only come this far. You've succeeded in life far beyond where you thought you would. So why stop now? With all that being said, I'm going to end the video here. Like I said, I'm making shorter videos so they try to test out the video length, stuff like that. I've done 30-40 minute videos. Now I'm doing 10-15 minute videos. But I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I'm going away this weekend, so I have to post tomorrow. And with that being said, good night, guys.